Okay, so, oh gosh, gotta have sunglasses. It is Saturday, May 7th. One of these days I'm gonna check the date before I start the video. I'm staring at my west garden that I've been working on steadily with all the seeds and the cabbages and the Brussels sprouts, and laying down the cardboard and laying down the straw and trying to figure out what I'm going to do for pathways, whether it's going to be free gravel, free mulch, free wood chips, whatever I can find. And I'm starting to prep and plan for the garden behind me, which will be more like my warm, hot season garden with tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and squash and all that jazz. So I'm debating how I was going to use my time today. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wheelbarrowing compost into the garden behind me, raking it out, and then I'm going to cover it with that tarp, that black tarp, just to give it a little extra cooking before I start planting in some of the plants here in the next week. We're having like 80-degree weather all next week. I really don't foresee another frost or it dropping down. So I might be taking a risk here, but my goal is to start getting in some of those plants next week. So I should have already laid the compost and the stuff down, but it's been a really rainy week, and so I just wasn't able to get to it. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. My goal, my focus right now is going to lay the compost, lay the tarp, and then I just have a few more plants to get in the garden, like some herbs and things that I can kind of just do here and there. But big effort today is going to be getting that west garden ready. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to till it again because it's been probably a month since we tilled it, and a lot of the weeds are already starting to come back in. So we'll see, maybe after we uncover it, that won't be the case. But anyway, that's what's going on here. Let's get going. And just in case you're curious, this is the west garden, and you can see the garden beds coming together there. You can see the pathways. I'm just on the lookout for free pathway material. If any of you live in this area and know of anything or see anything, please send it to me. I'd be forever grateful. Because right now I'm just having to hold this cardboard down and hope it doesn't all blow off. I have been very grateful for the rain that continues to moisten it and break it down. And the weeds are dying underneath it, which is what I wanted. So anyway, that's the west garden. I'm not going to put too much focus on that today. Let's get going on the east. So this is the east garden. Not much happening here. I've started laying a pathway for the entrance. Got the tarp. I do have something planted over here. There's some sort of perennial growing here, daylilies or something. I'm not really sure. This is all over the property, and I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be. So I'm really anticipating what that is. I planted a bunch of gladiolas over here in this corner, and I'm already seeing a couple of them come up, which is exciting. So I'm gonna have gladiolas over here. And then I think I'm gonna be planting the tomatoes along the fence line, all around the fence line. So I don't have to buy another cattle panel. It's just my thought, it's my thinking for the time being. It may change once I get going, because I also going to be trellising squash and cucumbers and all those other things. So I haven't been in this garden for probably a month because I haven't really needed to. Garlic and onions, they kind of tend to themselves. They don't need a lot of attention. I planted some rhubarb, which has come up here in the last couple weeks. I've got 4 really nice rhubarb plants started, and I think I see an asparagus. I do. There's an asparagus right there. I'll zoom in. I was wondering if these guys are going to come up. So I planted several types of asparagus, some purple asparagus, Jersey night asparagus. Try not to block the sun. It's right there. My first asparagus ever. That's so exciting. I also just found another one. Oh, whoops, I just looked. Oh, there it is. Right here. So I've got 2 of the purple asparagus plants coming up, and I can't remember what those are called, but I wonder if this onion is actually inhibiting. Whoop. I can't remember what the purple ones were called, but I know I planted some Jersey, I think it's called Jersey Nights, and I'd have to go look at my box to see what the other ones are. Now, I don't know, for those of you that may not have planted asparagus before, or not aware of how they grow, you actually don't want to harvest them the first at least 2 years, if not 3, because it allows them to kind of really set themselves up for a really good harvest in the coming years. And that's why, especially if you're in a new property, the sooner you plant your asparagus plants, the better, because you have to wait for that long for them to really get established. And I do know that somewhere on this property there actually are asparagus plants from the previous owner, but she didn't tell me where they were. So I'm gonna have to go on an asparagus hunt. So behind me here is our compost, which we've been working on since we moved here, which was end of last September. This thing has gone probably 2 times, if not 3 times the height that it is right now, just from consistently piling on chicken and rabbit manure. We had like 21 rabbits over the winter. Now we only have 2, thank goodness. But I will say it did help pay off in the compost, because I want to say it was in February I was out here turning it and it was hot. It was steaming, it was hot, I could smell it. And that's good because you want it to heat up to that hot temperature so it's breaking down the bad microorganisms and making room for the new ones. So as you'll see here in just a second, when I started digging, I started seeing those beneficial organisms like earthworms and other little bugs in there doing their job. I am also going to start piling this in the wheelbarrow and taking it into the new garden to prep the soil. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? Here, point at it. Can you pull it up? We are in my compost pile and we are finding worms, which is a great sign. Because what happens is your compost will heat up to a certain point that doesn't sustain life forms like a worm. But it basically means it's heating up, it's burning off the bad microorganisms, and then once it cools down, microorganisms like earthworms and a lot of these other little bugs that you see flying around here get in here and they start doing the work. So that is a really good sign that this compost is ready to go. And I have a thermometer out here and it's not as hot as it was a few months ago. So it's telling me that this is ready to go on the garden. So it's pretty exhausting work. I consider myself pretty strong, pretty good endurance, but digging up that pond compost, that's a bit challenging. So I'm gonna do 4 piles and go ahead and rake this out. I may lay out the tarp anyway and just kind of do what I can here and there. I don't want to kill myself. There's really some other things I want to do than spend hours back-breakingly trying to dig out that compost. I need some men, my men who are unfortunately right now mowing. I would say the priority is this, not mowing, but they're playing with their new toys over there. So, you know, I get it. Anyway, I am going to start raking and see how much I can rake out here and then get all the energy back and see how much more I can do. All right. Well, I think I'm done for the day. It's getting close to dinner time and video, talking to the video. But I did get what I feel like more than I thought I was gonna get done over here. So you can see, again, it's starting to take shape. I've got a garden bed, a pathway, a garden bed, a pathway, and a garden bed. And so I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3 or 4 more big boxes for the behind me here for the rest of the garden to really make this work the way I want it to. And that's not a big deal. I'll be able to come across that stuff. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tarp. Since I pretty much have this covered and I've layered the beds with the compost, I'm going to take the tarp behind me here and cover up the other half of the garden. to start killing out the weeds and just allowing it to, yeah, really just killing the weeds and allowing it to kind of turn over. Don't poke any more holes in it, okay? Because that's weeds will come through it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll find a way through it. Is that all the stones? Can you lay some on this one over here too? Please, pretty please. Aren't sons great? They work so hard. My daughter's petered out really quick, but my sons, they're working hard. So yeah, so I've got this established. I'm gonna cover this one up with tarp to hopefully kill off the weeds, and then over the next week I'll be able to get the ground really ready to start putting in those warmer plants, which I'm super excited about. Yay, garden time. Well, that's it for today. I am gonna go cook dinner, but I did buy some fun herbs at the garden center here in Plainwell today, and I'm gonna put those in my planter out on my back porch, just for some more variety. And you saw the other plants that I posted earlier. Got some dahlias and some fun tropical hibiscus herbs and some really cute African daisies. So whimsical looking. I'll have to show you those as well. And some really beautiful tulips that I planted in the fall. They're starting to come up. Well, they're up. They just are ready to bloom. I'm really excited to see those because they're really unique varieties. So hopefully those will pop up soon. I'll get to show you those, and we're just gonna keep moving forward in this garden season. All right, we'll catch you all in the next video.